Hello and welcome to the Awaken Feminine podcast. I'm your host, Kaki Lee, a mindset coach and healer who's on a mission to share the love and wisdom of inspiring women from around the world who have gone through adversity and turned their pain into purpose. Today, I'm excited to be interviewing clarity and confidence coach Enki Besud, who I know has so much love and wisdom to share with us today. Do I have you there, Enki?
Thank you for inviting me for the podcast. And thank you for the opportunity to share.
Yeah, welcome, Enki. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. Before we dive in, can you share with us a little bit more about what you do, who you are, and where you're joining me from?
Hey, I'm Enki Besud, and I am a confidence and clarity coach. I am originally from Mongolia and an expat living in Poland. So I'm joining from Poland now with you. I work with a woman who have a low self-esteem and confusion to gain clarity so they can show up powerfully, gain their confidence back, and then live fully
I
in
just love
line with who they are.
Yeah, I love that. And, you are far from home. You're in Poland. English is probably your second or third or maybe fourth language. So I just love that I can connect with people from around the world that, have speak different languages and doing amazing stuff. So thank you so much for joining me, Enki. So let's dive in. Can you share
Mhm.
with us your journey from what you were doing before to now being that clarity and confidence coach for women?
Mhm. Yeah, so I have an engineering background. I am professionally a programmer, and I love what I do, but I also have this inner calling inside me that was saying that what I can do for other people, what I can make the other people feel was important thing to do. And um, I found this why when I was really like reflecting on what I am doing on this earth, what is my purpose here, what I need to be doing. And I just realized like I need to be doing this. Even though like I enjoy my job, which is programming, and I love problem solving and mathematics, this was another calling that was deep within me that I really wanted to share and express my voice.
Yeah, beautiful. So, did you have like a spiritual awakening or a aha moment that led you down this path to becoming a coach?
Yes, definitely. So my whole journey, that when I was reflecting on it, that was um, one big message that I can also share. And the moment that I really felt like I need to be doing it was my big why, that I want to support these women who are suffering from low self-esteem or who have been in a very toxic environment and always feeling down, that they need support and empowerment. And I just realized that I can be that voice for
Yeah,
them and I can support them.
yeah, beautiful. Was it because you've been through a similar, I guess, situation where you had low self-esteem or been in toxic environments that really made you have that passion for helping other women in that environment?
Yeah, so a little backstory. Um, when I was when I moved to Poland, I came here alone, and I left my really loving, supporting family and friends in Mongolia. My family so loving, and they support me with everything. And I also had very very cool friends that they always cheered me up. And when I come to Poland, I was alone. I just directly landed into really, really toxic environment where it was all the time criticizing or opinionated people. I just didn't feel very good, and I just felt always that I am this one rebel, you can say. But at that time, as little as I knew, I just tried to blend in, and I just accepted everything that people were saying about me or to me, just to my heart. And then even I heard the opinions like, your laugh is too loud, and then I started laughing like little,
Yes,
like
softer.
this
Yeah.
little laugh, it was like all the time this kind of negativity towards me. And at certain point I wasn't even able to like look straight into someone's eyes and say my opinion, because I was afraid what that other person will say to me afterwards, or what he will think about me. Or I was always thinking to myself, like, I am not good enough. I am really like stupid. I am clumsy. I am not worth whatever is coming to me, So, yeah, it was really like not only good for, not really bad for me, but also the people who love me, like my friends and family back in Mongolia.
Yeah, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that story. And I think a lot of women or even men can relate to when people have their opinions of you and you start believing it. And it's so not
Mm-hmm.
true, right? And you have to try and
Mm-hmm.
blend in. And especially I think for me, I came to Australia. I'm from Hong Kong originally with my family. So I had family support, but you being there on your own, that would have been very, very challenging, I suspect. And to blend in. And I think that's another thing culturally, when we go to somewhere that is different, we try and blend in so that we don't stand out. But why do we have to do that, right? We are perfectly us and we should be able to show up as ourselves fully, authentically, right? So it's beautiful that you're now helping people to do the same, so thank you. So Enki, was there a particular catalyst that made you decide? So you found your calling, but what was it, the actual moment that you went, I'm going to be a coach. I'm doing this. I'm going to be a coach. And help people? Like, was there a particular point that made you decide to do that?
Mm, yeah, like I said, I was reflecting, really reflecting on, and this is the moment when I was thinking like, there are two, from what I have always been interested in self-development, and there are two reasons that I heard, I was seeing from Tony Robbins, that people make change in their lives. Like, one is out of desperation and one is out of inspiration.
Yes.
So I didn't go to this desperation moment, but I just put myself in there. So what I mean by that is, I was reflecting on myself, and then I just put myself, like take myself out of this moment, and then continue being the same in 20 or 25 years. And then what I will be feeling. So that at that moment, I will be desperate, and I will feel like, okay, why I haven't done that? Why I didn't start doing it? And I was, by that moment, in the future, I felt like, no, this is something that I need to start doing right away.
I love that. And such a great tip and reminder for people as well to reflect on their life now. And will you be happy to be the same place 25 years later? And I think for most people, if they've been feeling stuck, they probably wouldn't want to be there. But then is now, okay, you don't want to be there. What do you do? Right. And I love that you took the action to go into, to answer your calling and become the coach that you're meant to be. So Enki, you've already touched on this, but I would love you to, really declare it now. Having gone through what you've gone through, what is your personal mission? What are you here on this earth to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my personal mission, like the whole idea or the whole big why I am doing it is that to help women not go through the same thing. That I want to make this voice clear and loud that you are enough the way you are, and you have your own voice, and you cannot be liked by everyone, and it is okay that there are people who don't like you, and it is okay, totally okay, that there are people who just don't like your smile and it is totally fine, and be who you are. And when you are get rid of that kind of people, or just don't take it personally, there comes another space that you can explore. And I want to help women to like feel it and hear it and be more inspired and just stay true to who they are. Because for me, I didn't stay true to myself. I blended in, and I was this in really negative space, and I was a really really negative person myself. I was criticizing other people all the time also, after living here for a few years with people that was surrounding me. By that time, they are no longer in my life, but by that time I was really in a negative place, and I was a negative person, and it was it wasn't nice. So I don't want anyone to go through the same thing I went through, and I want to like be that person I needed when I was in that place.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love your mission. And I love how you just reminded us that, what your external environment is a reflection of your internal environment. So if you are negative and blaming and you're that toxic person, then you'll be attracting the toxicity around you. But once you flip that and change, then as you say, you create that space to allow other things, the better things in, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
beautiful. So Enki, I'd love to go more deep and personal with you. Is there a particular experience you've been through that you found really challenging, but actually led to your biggest breakthrough?
Mm, yeah. So as I mentioned before, that I was surrounded by very blaming and criticizing people. I went out from that there, and what really pushed me to get out from there was the uh, travel that I did with my old friend. We were friends from middle school, and we known each other for a long, long time. But I just kept any contact with her for some years because I was this in a negative space, a negative person, and we were traveling together. And I just like went back to that place where I was a young girl. I was like full of, dream and happiness and like just laughing all the time. And she just reminded me that self of me. And I was like, oh my God, this is not me who I am now. Like, I have never been like this before. I just turned into those people who really make me feel bad. And that was a moment that made me out of that space. So I was living for some time completely alone. And this was the moment I found my breakthrough, you can say, because I really realized that how strong I am, even though without any support or without any friends, without anyone who, I don't know, I was moving every year, and I had to, pack everything and then move from one place to another. And when I was doing it by myself, I just realized how strong I am. And it's a small thing. There are a lot of other things when you are living just like alone. And by that time, it was very hard. I don't like loneliness. I don't think anyone likes loneliness. And I just pushed harder to really push harder the boundaries. And after I got out of that loneliness, I just felt like, oh, I'm a really strong person
Yeah.
that I didn't know of.
Yeah. I love that. And I love how hanging out with your friend from the past really helped to reignite the knowledge, the wisdom that, I'm not this person that I've become, and to really get out of it. So that's really beautiful. And I want to ask you actually, what made you decide to move to Poland from Mongolia? Because I know a lot of people from Asia tend to go to more English speaking countries. So what was it that made you decide it was Poland?
I came here for a student exchange program, and I would say it was just like 100%. I don't know, a luck. I don't want to say it as a luck, but just destiny to come here, because the way I saw the advertisement of this program, the way I just went to the exam, and the way I just got the scholarship, and I just decided that, okay, I will come here. It's like all just like, it was very easy for me to, that it just, one thing led to another, and I was here.
Yeah, I love that. It was meant to be that you go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was just interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. A lot of people ask.
yeah,
Why you are in Poland.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, I want to ask you, what do you believe is the greatest lesson you've learned in your life so far?
What was my greatest lesson?
Yeah,
Um, like, being unique is totally okay, and being true to yourself is something that's so beautiful. And by not being you, you're actually hurting yourself. And by pretending, you are actually hurting yourself. And when that lesson, when I realized it, it was just so freeing. I was just so much free and happier and lighter
yes,
in my life. And also, also the one big lesson that I can share is just to everyone to spread more love, not the negativity. I try to do it all the time. I don't criticize people, because I know how hard it is to be criticized. If there is constructive feedback, it is good, but blaming and criticizing is really, really, like, not, don't do that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I love that, and thank you so much for the reminder. It's so important to be yourself and not be afraid of what other people think. And as you said before, there are people that's not going to like you, but there's going to be lots of people that love you, and they're your people. And you don't need to worry about the people that don't like you. They're not your people. So you just move on, right? And
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So it's really beautiful. So, Enki, I want to ask you, what were some of the tools or teachers that were really helpful in you really getting out of that negative space in your life in that moment?
Hmm. Um, what writing down or acknowledging what you have done good, like what you have achieved, acknowledging it, and shifting your focus, that what you weren't able to do, or like you forgot your key to your office. Now shift it, and then just like be in that state that acknowledge what you have done, achieved, and um, really writing it down, or just thinking about it, reflecting on it, is is a great tool to get out of that negative mindset, because you are seeing yourself from the other perspective. Like you are not a perfect person. There are bad things and there are good things, but if you're always concentrating on the negative and bad things, you will always be in that negative state. And when you shift your focus to the things that you have achieved, things that you have done well, the good feelings that you were spreading around, that if you are acknowledging them all, then you start to feel better about yourself and feel more confident about yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And such a great reminder, because I think as human beings, we've always been conditioned to beat ourselves up when we do something. And it might be the
Yes.
smallest things like, oh, why did I do that? But remembering to focus on the good things makes you feel good. One of my mentors, Xander Fryer, I did a course with him, and one of the things he suggests is that we have a brag book. So you write down like 10 things each day that you're proud of yourself that you've achieved, right? It doesn't have to be things within the 24 hours. It could be something in your lifetime, but it's just to remember that you've done all these amazing things that you can be proud
Yeah.
of. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Enki, I love reading. I'm an avid book reader. I'm not sure if you are, but is there a book that has changed your life, or even a few books if you've got a few?
Um, yeah. So I also love the self-help type of books,
Yeah.
and like one would come to my mind, the Four Agreements.
Yep.
It was a great short read that really reminded ourselves to treat ourselves better. And another book, Psycho-Cybernetics. So from that book, you can really see how powerful your psychology and how powerful your mind is, and how you can change your life by changing your mind.
Yeah, beautiful. I haven't read I actually haven't read either of them, but I've had quite a few people tell me about the Four Agreements. So it just keeps moving up on my list. I've just got this long list of books that I want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
very short read. I think
yeah.
it's just within the 2 hours you can read the whole book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'll
I
definitely
recommend
move
it.
that up a bit more on my list. So, Eki, I want to ask you, if you could time travel and go back to a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give yourself?
To my younger self.
Mm,
Oh, I would like remind her that not um, like when I was a young girl, I used to think everyone is smart. Everyone is like kind of in their own way smart, but I also thought that everyone is like my family. Like they are very nice, they are supportive, and then you know like life is rainbow and the sunshine.
yeah.
So I will just remind her a little bit that you have to be stronger, and you have to also like be prepared, or keep in back of your head that there might be some very negative and bad people, and don't take their words to your heart, because I really am so like naive, or I just really easily trust people, and that's why I get everyone's opinion so into my heart. And this would be something that to remind for every girl, that you are strong. There are bad people out there that you might not feel good to be around, but it's okay, and just don't be with those people. And
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and just remind her like you are much stronger than you think you are.
Yes. And such beautiful advice, because I think women in society has always been portrayed as, the damsel in distress, like I need help from a man, and it's is only now in probably the last 10 years that, there's this increased focus on women being, the strong women, the nurturers, the mothers, the ones that, protect. So I just love that the advice that you're giving this younger self, that to remind her that she is strong and she is courageous and brave and all that good stuff. So, Enki, this year there's been a lot of changes in the world, and there's a lot of people really reflecting on their lives and wanting to make the changes in their lives that they've always wanted to, but maybe haven't because circumstances hasn't allowed them to. So, what advice or recommendations would you have for anyone that wants to change their life and take that first step to creating a better life, but have limiting beliefs or fear that is holding them back?
So I would suggest that they think to themselves like nothing will change if you don't make the change, if you don't take that step to action to really change their life. Because as an adult, we can see how time flies. Like you don't remember how the week is flying faster and so on. And it will be just like this that you will be in the same spot in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. And I don't think if that person really have this feeling and are afraid to go out, I don't think that in 20 years it will be easier, or in 10 years it will be easier. You have to do it now.
Yeah.
You have to be courageous. The courage comes before confidence. So if you be courageous to get out and start doing it, you will see how powerful you are or how great you are. You start feeling it within you. And I am really confident that everyone have their potential within them, and just it's a matter of allowing them to get out of that comfort zone and be courageous in the beginning, and you will gain the confidence along the way.
Beautiful. Yes, and I love that. The best time to start is now. I mean, the best time to start was probably 20 years ago, but the next best time is now, right? That's I read the quote.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There is a like a word in Mongolian. I cannot like translate it
yeah.
directly, but I heard it in Mongolian. So when you are just lying in your dying bed
Yes.
and think of how you lived your life from the beginning, like just reflect on it, and you feel like I just feel like I lived like this lifetime 2 times, because it was so worth living and so nice when you are just like in the bed that reminded how you lived. That's so beautiful that you can live this lifetime 2 times.
Yeah.
And it was, you think to yourself, it was worth living.
Yeah.
And if you were like in the dying bed and reflect on your life, and all you think is like, I should have done that. That's that's really sad
Yeah.
to experience. And I don't want anyone, and I don't think anyone wants to be in that situation of regret, and
Yeah.
it will be too late by that time, right?
Yeah.
So when you are thinking about your life and you think like, oh, it was so worth living, that is the moment, and that is the life that you want to create and start taking action right now.
Yeah. How do you say it in What's the word in Mongolian?
Oh, it will be like the sentence.
Oh, yeah, the sentence. Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful picture to, I mean, we all will die, but just a beautiful picture that when you're at your last moments to be able to think back of all the amazing things that you were able to do. Living that twice is just a beautiful picture to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Enki, I've loved our conversation and just, finding more about you and what inspires you. And I hope it inspires the people that are listening to this podcast right now. Before we wrap up, I really love to know what is really setting on your soul on fire right now.
Right now, connecting connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs, like-minded people. And I am so thankful, grateful for the technology that we have, that so we can connect from two different continents and talk, have this conversation, and inspired by like women like you to see how amazing things you are doing, and being able to like have this connection with the like-minded people is so great, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, oh, thank you so much. And yes, connection is such a big thing, especially for me this year. And meeting you back, I think a few months ago now.
Yeah.
And it was just on Instagram and connecting with you and having that connection. And we touch base now and again as well. So it's just been so lovely to meet beautiful, like-minded, inspiring women who are doing amazing things. So I just love that. It's like I've built this new community of women, family. It just feels so right, to have these people in my life. So thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
being in my
you.
life. So,
Thank you.
yeah, Enki, thank you so much for sharing your love and wisdom with us today. If people want to find out more about you and how they can work with you, where should they go?
Okay, I am very active on social media. So on Facebook, Enki Besud, you search and find my page or my profile, and also on Instagram, the same name, Enki Besud. That people can offer connect with me. I have offer for your listeners.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this is my birth month. I turned 30, and
Yes, happy
I
birthday was just the other day.
yes, and I would like to invite people to my session, like from low self-esteem to unbreakable confidence, and you can schedule the fill out the form, and then schedule the meeting with me to have this session with me. Or it's a free coaching session, and I'm happy that I'm offering it. It's my birthday month present for all all the women.
Beautiful. 30 years old young. So excited to see what's going to unfold. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, actually, I just remembered I wanted to ask you one more question.
Okay. Sure.
I don't know, it just popped into my head. I'm like, oh, I didn't ask her that question. So I'm gonna just wing it and we're just gonna do this and go back. So I know you're a mum as well. So
Mhm.
as a busy mum and also an entrepreneur as well, what are your top three go-to activities for self-love? Because I'm all about self-love. So I always want to make sure I ask this question of my guests before they go.
Yeah. I heard this word like just a few days ago, and this really stick to me. Like, serve from your overflow, not from your cup. Take care of yourself first. So you take care of yourself, and it start overflowing. Serve from that.
Yep.
But first, you have to have your own cup
Yep.
of tea, a cup of
Yeah.
coffee or whatever. And this is so important to take care of ourselves first, because when we are not taking care of ourselves, if we are sick, then we cannot serve. And if we are like depressed or having bad mood, then we will not be 100% ourselves. And I really, I also prioritize self-care.
Yeah.
If I need time, I take my time. I love just sit on a couch or on bed and then just read book, whatever. It doesn't have to be like learning, but just literature, whatever comes to my taste that moment, and I just sit and read. Um, and I love just having the deep care of my skin or hair, and it just feeling like I'm loving my this body that's was given to me. We
Yeah.
will not live in any other body but just this one. So
Yes.
just taking care of it, and that's also I feel like love when I giving myself love when I'm taking care of my hair or my skin. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. All right. We can close off now. So thank you so much, Enki, for your time today. I'll have all your
Thank
details
you.
and all any recommended resources available in the show notes so people can reach out to you and work with you. Thank you once
Thank
again.
you.
And
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this opportunity and the time to
yeah,
talk and really connect more. I
yeah,
really loved it. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much. And until next time, I love you, I believe in you, and you are worth taking that first step to the life of your dreams.